Hello, this is Dallas. I see that Putin now sees airstrikes against Syrian air bases and aggression. That's not good at all. It could lead to a proxy war between America and Russia in Syria because if Trump wants to go forward with throwing in more Tomahawk missiles at Syria, have more air bases, that Russia's gonna get, they're gonna react, and that wouldn't be good. I would expect air to air fighting, air to air combat, um, and that is why Russia is in Syria right now because Assad was afraid that he was gonna get airstrike like Gaddafi, like Hillary Clinton killed Gaddafi, and look what happened there. Gaddafi gets killed, then the embassy gets attacked by Al Qaeda, and then what happens? The United States embassy is now taken out. Yes, Gaddafi was a dictator, but in those countries you need a dictator because you need a ruthless dictator, else you're gonna have what is now in Libya, in Syria, but in Libya you have now 5,000 to 10,000 ISIS members now fighting. In Libya you have Al Qaeda, you have, I forget, there's a third one, and then you have the government itself, all fighting a broken government, that is. I watched a video on isis.liveuamaps.com. This was about a year ago. I watched a video on there. Uh, Libya, these civilians took their fishing boat and put 50 cals in Zuni rockets to shoot at ISIS on the shoreline. It was crazy how they took a fishing boat and made it into a battleship like that. Like not like a battleship like you see America and Russia using, but a makeshift uh, boat like that. And man, it was just wild, the creativity that they use to fight, but and what they have to use against ISIS and all that. But of course, you have to look at the start of the problem there, killing Gaddafi from the orders of Hillary Clinton, then the embassy and four Americans dying, and the embassy getting taken out, and then the whole government was just collapsed after that. Same with Syria, you have a collapsed government. We don't want a regime change. We don't want to take out Assad because that's why Assad was worried, because he thought he was going to be next like Gaddafi. That's why Russia entered into Syria, so we can't attack. America can't just go in and attack with jets because we'd have to worry about surface to air missiles that can reach to 90,000 feet in the air. We'd have to worry about a lot of that. And then the other thing too is who's the enemy? You have Al Nusra, Al Qaeda, you have random rebel groups running around, you have ISIS, and then are you going to fight Assad as well? Then you're going to be fighting Russia. That's too much. We're going to have to change the rules of engagement. That just, no. Then you have Turkey. Yeah, you have Turkey up north in Syria, up by Manjib, Syria, and you also have the Kurds. You have YPG and PPK, I believe. I believe I pronounced PPK right, or it's PKKK, one of the two. But they are basically Kurds, northern Iraq and northern Syria. They've been doing a great job actually fighting ISIS, and without the help of the Kurds in northern Syria, we wouldn't have been able to get into the city in the dam of Tabaka, Syria, I believe is the name. Is right on the Euphrates River. If you Google map it, or if you go on isis.liveuamaps.com, you can see what's going on there, not only with ISIS but also what's going on around the world. You can see what's going on in Crimea. There's actually firefights in bombardments going on all day, of shellings going on all day long in Crimea. Like at least like 3 or 4 Ukrainians, if not 10, get injured a day or killed a day, and that's never reported in the news. I just wanted to say that just because that's just a fact. It's happening. Whatever side you take on that, that's a whole nother video, because John McCain, Madam Albright, Nancy Pelosi went to a college and disputed for to resist, and that's just a lot of hate speech came from them. And they went to Europe, they went to Ukraine 2 months prior to that attack, or to that the takeover of the president of who just got elected. I forgot who his name was, but he had to go into hiding in Russia, and that's why that civil war is breaking out. And we just don't want to go to war with Russia, and that is why the controllers, Bilderberg's, people that are working with Trump, and a lot of Trump's enemies are liking what Trump did, because that just helps with the refugee crisis. It helps with all that, because ISIS said that they will be using the borders in the refugee crisis is their advantage to get into our country and to the West. And look what happened yesterday. Sweden got attacked by a terrorist attack. 5 people got killed, 10 injured. That's not good. And that never happens. When I was a kid growing up, I would never think of that in Europe. 9/11 really woke up my eyes to everything that was going on. That was in 2001, and look what's going on now in the world. There's so much. There's a lot to be said and to be talked about. I just want to start making these videos, and I thought now would be a good time to do this. I'm gonna be taking more nature walks and everything, and doing these videos outdoors and stuff. I don't really like being cooped up inside too much. Now that the weather is getting nice out, I can really get out and enjoy that. And yeah, I'll keep this video short, probably a little bit longer. Just want to recap that. The news, of course, or Putin, of course, is saying that Trump did an aggressive attack against Syria, taking out the airfields, and this isn't good, because it's just not good. More division, more division. And Trump, he's got an ego, like both Putin and Trump have egos, and it's like recess. Nobody's left recess in school. Everybody's still out there being all egotistical and everything. Pride happens. Everybody's human. Everyone falls short. Everybody makes wrong decisions. But it's just wild how Trump easily took that bait. Was it so he doesn't look like he's a Trump sympathizer, etc.? But man, he doesn't even need to. What he did was really bad, because now there's just going to be more, because the civil war does not end in Syria. They're still fighting. There's still bombings going on, and those bombs, of course, are going to hit civilians, because what does Al Qaeda do? They hide in civilian territory, and it's just what they do. Same with ISIS. What can you do? And like, nobody in the area leaves. That's the thing. They don't leave. Like, they know a bombing is gonna happen, and they're just like, oh well, hopefully I don't get hit. I don't know. I don't understand that part. That's the other thing too. Let's say you're in a village and let's say Desert, Syria. There's 10,000 civilians in that town, or in that city, and there's probably a few thousand ISIS, and there's Assad He has troops there, Syrian troops, and there's Russian troops there. They are surrounded by ISIS, completely surrounded. But just think if those 10,000 civilians picked up arms or whatever they did to, um, they could take out ISIS really quick if they all got together and just surrounded ISIS and ambushed them. Just come together. Just it is why America is so great in defeating Britain and sending everybody back to keep our independence and gain our independence. Because fighting for that freedom is huge. We're fighting for it every day to keep it, and we are being attacked on so many fronts: politics, religion, economics, schools, the indoctrination that's happening in schools. That's four things that Satan uses to manipulate the masses of the people. One is, yeah, okay, there's four of them. Okay, one, school, two, economics, three, religion, four, politics. So, yeah, just write that down and just look into that for a little bit, because those four things, economics, money, that's control. Politics, that's another form of